Hey guys, you're watching DBFB TV, and in this video I'm going to be doing a comparison of the Devil May Cry reboot and Dante's Inferno. Now you're probably asking, Liam, why are you doing a comparison of two games that have long since dropped out of relevance? And the answer is, well, why not? Thought I'd make a fun video, so I'm doing it. Before I start, I should say a couple things. Number one, Devil May Cry is a series I've enjoyed since I was about 10. Dante's Inferno is a game I never actually finished. So, probably going to have a little bit of bias going into this. But nobody really watches my videos, so I don't think I'm going to be offending anyone's opinion. Also, I think it's important that I mention that the protagonists of both games have the same name. So to avoid any confusion, I'm going to be using a clear and unmissably obvious change in my pronunciation of the two names. So for Dante's Inferno, I'm going to be pronouncing it Dante, and then for Devil May Cry, it will be Dante. Right? Because if it's got an R. Yeah, because that's totally correct, right? Anyway, let's talk about the games. In Devil May Cry, you play as Dante, a half-demon, half-angel demon hunter, who fights with his trusty sword Rebellion, a selection of guns, and a variety of angel and demon weapons. In-game, guns are for dealing damage at a distance and disrupting the attacks of enemies just outside your melee range. Demon weapons are for heavy attacks, angel weapons are for crowd control, and the Rebellion lies somewhere in between. In Devil May Cry, attack is the best form of defense, but should your unrelenting assault method fail, you can always hit one of the bumpers to roll and avoid damage. In Dante's Inferno, you play as Dante, a religious crusader from Rome? In the year 1630-something. Yeah, I probably should have researched this a little better. Anyway, Dante fights with Death's Scythe for his melee weapon, and Beatrice's Cross for his ranged attack. To avoid damage, you can always pull the left trigger to block, or flick the right stick in any direction in order to dodge. Which is all well and good until you need to move the camera. Which, let's face it, sometimes you kinda do. But enough of that, let's talk about the gameplay. Devil May Cry encourages an aggressive playstyle, with a style point system that rewards varied and inventive use of your weapons. Dante's Inferno, however, forces you to use more of a hit-and-run tactic, which is where I feel the game really falls down. You see, in my mind, if an enemy readies themselves for an attack, if I can hit them first, it should stagger them and leave them vulnerable for more hits. Sadly, in Dante's Inferno, this is not even the case with the most lowly enemy in the game. If a minion draws himself back from a swing, you better hope you got a charge attack brewing, because otherwise they're just going to pound you with a bunch of hits, and it's going to fucking hurt. The problem with this is it makes what should be just general fodder far too powerful. It doesn't help that in the later stages they zip around like they've just drained a pot of coffee, downed a can of Red Bull, and then done 6 lines of cocaine. Oh, and they're also infinitely respawning until you take out any equally unstaggerable elite mobs that are in the area. Now I can forgive the game for making the brute style enemies unstaggerable, but what does annoy me is that they gave them this stupid little pushback move that interrupts all of your combos and they can seemingly do at any point, which is just fucking frustrating. Now as you might expect, the game also has more complicated enemies than just minions and brutes, which is fine. Devil May Cry also has more complex enemies, like the Dream Runner, who can block most of your attacks, has priority over almost all your moves, and can teleport and then reappear somewhere generally off screen and then dash at you at light speed. And they're annoying until you realise that you can easily stagger them with a well-timed counter from one of your demon weapons, and then they become less of an issue. Dante's Inferno, on the other hand, has these guys. Now I admit they don't look all that threatening, but you'll soon learn that looks can be deceiving when you go to attack them and they instantly dart away from you and then back in again, in what seems like a fraction of a second. Granted, you can block their attack, but you really need to be on your toes, and when there's several other enemies to think about at the same time, it really does become difficult. It also doesn't help that they decided to make them as durable as the fucking brutes. And whilst these enemies do serve to make the gameplay a bit more fresh and interesting, they're so damn difficult to deal with that you end up just sitting in a corner spamming your ranged knockback until hopefully something dies. I'll admit that there probably is some move or technique that makes these guys easy to deal with, and I've just missed it, but with the way you unlock abilities in this game, that is unfortunately very easy to do. But I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Something very annoying. Something so annoying it could have been dragged out of the very depths of hell itself. Oh, that's right. Mark Antony. Oh, Mark Antony, you son of a bitch. You must be one of the most punishing and infuriating bosses I have ever fought in a video game. Seriously, this guy has so many obnoxious qualities that I never even thought I'd beat him. And he's only the second boss. I'm not going to go in depth as to why I hate this guy so much, because I want this video to end today. But trust me, he is a bastard. And he's not the only one. In fact, all the bosses in Dante's Inferno are hard as shit. I can appreciate what they were going for with the style of bosses, and due to the generally difficult nature of the game, it's not surprising that they're so hard, but I wish they'd be more like the bosses in Devil May Cry. Fucking easy. I mean, look at this guy. This is a clip of me fighting the first boss on the hardest difficulty. Sure, maybe it's not the most challenging thing in the world, because he doesn't have very many different attacks, and those that he does have are pretty well telegraphed. But when each attack you don't dodge takes away at least a third of your health, it's not unreasonable to expect that you might die. In this case, I did manage to beat him without taking any damage, whereas a boss like Mark Antony has so many different attacks that you can't possibly hope to avoid all of them, which is why beating him took me a solid 4 hours of this. Fuck. Fuck. Fuck me. God fucking damn it, you motherfucking cunt. Now you might remember that earlier on in the video I mentioned that I never beat Dante's Inferno. Now that we've had a look at the game, maybe we should ask why. Was it the ridiculously overpowered minions? Was it the very frustrating elites? Or was it the constant reminder that you're just not good enough at the game? Remember, you can always modify the difficulty at any time. Hey. You know what? You know what? Fuck you. Nope. It was in fact Satan himself, who I presume to be the game's final boss. Like I said, I never actually beat him. The fight consists mainly of Satan slamming his fist into the ground and sending out shockwaves, which essentially boils down to an awkward sequence of jumps. He'll also occasionally do this wind thing and make some tornadoes. I know what you're thinking. Great boss, right? Oh, but there is more. Sometimes when he punches the ground, it'll make some ice spikes, which will do, well, not much, really. It's pretty exciting. After about 10 minutes of avoiding Satan's tantrums, and occasionally doing some damage of your own, you'll finally wear him down to the point in which he'll reveal that he is in fact a 2-tiered boss. In his second stage, Satan becomes more like our good friend Mark Antony, with devastatingly powerful attacks, ridiculous amounts of health, and free roam of the combat area, and therefore the frustrating ability to lurk somewhere off screen, thanks to the game's oh so irritating lack of camera controls. After a good hour of unsuccessful attempts, I finally put my controller down and said, fuck it, I'm never going to beat this game. I can't beat this guy. No human person has enough skill to beat this guy with just one full health bar, and I've already screwed myself out of getting any life back. Plus, there's no way to save between stages, and I honestly cannot be fucked to suffer through the first section again. Also, why am I even fighting this guy? I already rescued Beatrice, which I'm pretty sure is the whole reason for doing anything, but the story is so glazed over and strangely presented that it's hard to understand the motivation for anything in this game. The plot of Devil May Cry is nothing special, but at least it's clearly explained through cutscenes and dialogue between the main characters. In Dante's Inferno, the story is presented through these weird cutscenes, where it's hard to tell what's going on and nothing is really explained. It doesn't help that your only ally is some ghost whose only assistance is to tell you a little bit about the area you're about to pass through, which is kinda cool, I guess. But it doesn't answer any of my questions. Like, why was Dante able to fight death? Why is Mark Antony here? And why am I fighting Satan? Why does he have such an enormous dick? I mean, come on, the only thing you're going to give a woman with that beast is severe internal bleeding. Now, I'm aware that the game is based off a piece of actual literature, so I suppose it's possible that the answers to my questions are out there, but I'm a gamer. I haven't got time for that. It probably seems like I hate Dante's Inferno, seeing as I've been pretty much bashing it non-stop for this entire video, but it's actually not true. I do actually like the game. And in fact, all the problems that I mentioned only apply to if you're playing on the hard difficulty, so really, it's my fault. But hey, I'm a whiny bitch. So there you go. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.